But there's only one place we can start. Before we hear Andy Townsend's views on what we're just about to talk about, have a listen to this. Former Premier League ref Keith Hackett joined the Breakfast Show this morning and said the FA need to make an example out of the Fulham striker Mitrovic after he pushed the ref in his side's 3-1 defeat to Manchester United yesterday.
3-match ban is insufficient. We've got to get to a point of view where everybody in the game understands putting a hand on a referee, even without force, is a no-no. It should be sacrosanct that shouldn't happen. So for me, I'm quite clear. I think the FA have got to stamp down on this. They've got to set an example. And a 10-match ban has to come into force.
Wow. This is bigger than I thought it was going to be at the time, actually. I didn't realise that everyone, or the majority of people, were saying 3's not enough, should be 10. And I was thinking, 10? And then, of course, everyone's talking about Paolo Di Canio got an 11-match ban after he pushed the referee. Ronaldo got a 12-game ban after he pushed the referee.
Yeah.
There are other players, David Prutton as well, 10 games. Di Maria got a 1-match ban for, I think he pulled Michael Oliver's shirt. I think that was the reason, but only 1 match. So, you know, the majority of these incidents where you put your hands on the ref do result in around about the 10-game ban. What's your view on, firstly, what he did?
Yeah.
Is it as bad as everyone's making out? And secondly, what do you think the ban should be?
Well, a reason why I think it is something that needs to be looked at very, very seriously is because it wasn't necessarily the way he was frustrated at the decision and put his hand on the referee. It was the seconds after that, and when he fronted him up, got in his face, stepped forward into the referee's space, far too close to him. Chris Kavanagh's having to backpedal ever so slightly. Had he not have done so, he would have been forehead to forehead. Now look, and at that point, when two individuals get that close, anything can happen. What would have happened if Mitrovic, and it's a big if, but if he ends up leaning into his face,
but you
can't
give him a ban for what may have happened, right?
No, you can't. But he went after the ref.
Yeah,
he went after him. He'd lost his head completely. The red mist had descended. He don't know what he was doing, what he's thinking. I mean, the game is still in the balance. There's everything still for Fulham to play for goodness sakes. Why on earth he feels like he's got to lose his rags so much and steam into the ref at that point, I don't know. But you can't grab. And you most certainly, and the bit that annoyed me watching it was the way he went after the ref after he'd grabbed him. That to me says more than 3, and I would say 6 minimum. Six minimum.
See, the way I saw it, right? Look, I know you can't touch the referee. I know that, right? But the way I saw it, obviously he saw the red mist, right? Incredibly frustrated.
Yeah.
Even though it was the right decision to give the penalty and send off Willian, right? You can't argue with that.
No.
But the way I saw it, he went up to the ref walked away. Right? And then he sort of grabbed him as if to go, I'm talking to you. I sort of put his arm out. I didn't see him as grabbing the ref. I just saw him as, I'm trying to, and the referee's walked
He weren't tapping him on the shoulder, was he?
No, he wasn't tapping him on the shoulder, you're right. But I didn't see it as he grabbed the ref and he should be banned for 10. I think it's a bit nuts that people are even suggesting 10 games.
So what would you suggest then? What do you think is fair for that? And listen, some of the things that are being said by a lot of people today are the impact this has on grassroots football.
Yeah, I don't buy that. Right, I'll tell you why I don't buy it. He's going to be banned, right? I don't think... I was listening to the Breakfast Show this morning. It's fantastic. Jamie O'Hara came on. It's brilliant. And they were suggesting that it needs to be a 10-game ban to sort of, set an example to kids, right? I understand all that. But if it's a 3-game ban, a kid won't look at that and go, it's only 3 games. I can get away with that. Yeah. He'll know that if you touch the ref, you're going to get banned.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine any 10-year-old being put off because it's 10 and not 3. Right? So if you're going to set an example, banning a player should set that example.
Yeah, but it can't be just the same as a standard red card
but do you not think
punishment.
Do you not think you've got to take into account where the game is, right? The pressure cooker environment.
No, I don't think you take that into account at all.
The pressure cooker environment you're in.
He's an experienced boy.
Okay, how long's left of the game? What the game means? How far away you are from Wembley? There are all these things I think you have to take into consideration. It wasn't just a normal game yesterday, was it?
Yeah, but do you know, like when we come on playing that little clip of me nearly swearing, but I didn't swear.
Yeah.
Right. In football, you'd love to get hold of the referee. You'd love to push him up against the wall and say, "What on earth was you doing out there?"
Have you ever had that feeling where you've got?
Yeah, loads of times. I reckon I've knocked on a referee's door more times than anyone in history. asking for an explanation, but you never got one.
But as an ex-pro,
you don't expect one.
As an ex-pro, you can understand what. I mean, he lost the plot, right? We all lose the plot from time to time.
Of course you do.
And I'm not saying don't ban him. I am saying ban him, of course. I just think when you're talking about 10 games, Fulham have got 11 left this season. I mean, financially, I know you're going that's his fault, but financially, that could have an impact on Fulham's.
Right, massively have an
if
impact.
They don't get European football.
Look, he's had a bit of a tough spell lately for goals, Mitrovic, but having got one at the weekend, and then you would like to think they're still in a very strong position. They've had an excellent season. It's got to be said. So if they lose him for the majority of what's left, that's going to have a huge impact on where they finish. I would argue that they probably would only finish halfway, whereas at the moment they're kicking on for potentially a European spot.
Do you see any difference between what he did and what Bruno did the week before with the linesman?
There is a difference. I think there is a difference. Bruno has an annoying body language. He does. He has a lot about the way he acts with his own teammates.
Yeah.
And he moans at refs incessantly. There's a lot about him that really does wind me up. However, I think they are distinctly quite different. I think Bruno's was petty and sort of a bit sort of petulant, if you like. Whereas there was more of a sinister edge about what Mitrovic was doing there. I think the grabbing him the way that he grabbed him was more than Anne just saying, "Here, I want to word with you." It was more than that.
Do you think that Fulham fans will feel he's let the side down, the club down, because they were within not sniffing distance of a Wembley place in semi-finals? Let's not forget that United had the penalty with 11 men on the pitch.
Yes.
They might have scored that with 11 men on the pitch, and then they probably would have been favourites to go on and score.
They'd have been favourites with what would have been left to go.
I'm not saying they would have won it.
No,
but,
you can't say no.
But do you think that Fulham fans will look at Mitrovic and think that's...
Well, they shouldn't look upon him as a hero. They shouldn't look up... I keep hearing about this, he cares. No, hold on a minute. That's like an easy way out to say... Most players care. You'd like to think 99 out of 100 care, but you can't go doing things that risk the game. By the way, I have been sent off for swearing at refs, for moaning at refs, for doing... And I have lost, and I have seen the red mist, and I have lost it. So I'm not saying that none of us are immune to that, but I've also faced the consequences of that. But I don't believe a player... I don't believe that he should only get 3 matches and a ticking off and a massive fine. Okay. I think he should get a massive fine, and I think he should get at least double what would be normally required. So you
think
for that.
At least 6?
At least 6, I do, because you can't. We cannot have players. Do you know, in football we still like to see players fronting each other up, digging each other in the chest, knocking each other over in tackles, getting up, going face to face a little bit. That's all very much still part of our game. What we can't have is people putting their hands on referees. You've stepped way over the line. Okay.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.